Good evening to everyone. It gives me an immense pleasure in welcoming you all in this webinar on the occasion of International Day for Biological Diversity organized by Puducherry Envis Hub on the topic Mainstreaming Wildlife Conservation into Sustainable Development in India. I take pleasure in welcoming today's speaker, Dr. K. Shivakumar, Professor, Department of Ecology and Environmental Science, School of Life Science, Pondicherry University. I thank him for accepting our invitation to deliver this special talk on topic on today's webinar. Besides, I will also welcome the officials of this department, Puducherry Envis Hub, and the secretariat staffs, and all the participants from the diverse backgrounds who have joined here for listening to this seminar. I hope everybody else know that why this day has been celebrated, what is the requirement of this day, why we need to conserve the biodiversity. So this will be put up in this seminars, and the participants can get clarification from our experts. I will just give you a brief about our speaker. Dr. K. Shivakumar sir is presently working as a professor in the Department of Ecology and Environmental Science, and he has experience in teaching, training, and research in wildlife sciences, stretching over 3 decades. Prior to joining the Pondicherry University in Jan 2022, he has worked as a chief scientist and head Department of Endangered Species Management in the Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun. He has involved in the preparation of the 5th National Biodiversity Report and the 3rd National Wildlife Action Plan of India. Dr. Shivakumar was one of the pioneers to initiate the capacity building programs to enhance the integrated management of marine protected areas of India, especially for forest and fisheries sector. He is a member of various international bodies, including World Commissions on Protected Areas, IUCN, Galliforms, Invasive Species, and Marine Mammals and Freshwater Fish Specialist Groups. He is an expert advisor to NITI Aayog and MOFCC with respect to United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) related to marine biodiversity and marine protected areas. He is also the nodal officer for sites and CMS cells of Wildlife Institute of India and used to be the advisor of Ministry. He has been involved in the preparation of National Dugong Recovery Plan and National Marine Turtles Conservation Action Plan, and the DPR for the Project Dolphin and the National Marine Mammal Training Management Policy. He has twice received the UNITAR Fellowship and Netherlands Fellowship. So I welcome you, sir. So now the floor is open for you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Vibin, for a nice introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. As he mentioned that today we are actually continuing our celebration on the International Biodiversity Day. That was actually yesterday was that day, but we are continuing the celebration. Let me share a small presentation, so we will discuss on it further. Could you see this presentation, Dr. Vibin?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's visible.
Okay, thank you very much. So today I will be talking with you that how to mainstream the wildlife conservation into the sustainable development of India. Because we know wildlife, what is conservation, and also we know what is called a sustainable development. Sustainable development, in fact, many people doesn't know actually, especially our policymakers. But we talk about sustainable development everywhere. This is what I'm going to discuss with you. How can we improve our wildlife conservation? That itself is called a sustainable development. That's what I'm going to talk about that. As I mentioned that I'm right now placed at the Pondicherry University in the Department of Ecology. This particular year, today, we are celebrating the Biodiversity Day with the theme of calling building a shared future for all life. Actually, so many lives on the earth that all life should be respected, all lives having equal rights to survey on the earth, although we human beings dominate over that. That's what the greatest poet of Tamil Nadu, Sri Thiruvalluvar used to tell that while all lives are equal while born. And that's what he mentioned 1,000 years before, that all lives are equal while born. Amazing concept which he proposed thousands of years before. That world community today accepted that fact, that now come up with a theme what Thiruvalluvar mentioned those days, that building a shared future for all life. And that means the global community understood that the importance of sharing the future with all the life, then only we can survive. Not only that, there is another hidden agenda for this theme, that is there used to be a biodiversity framework, but unfortunately, that biodiversity framework that was proposed 2 decades before, we supposed to achieve certain target which the global community agreed upon by 2020. Unfortunately, majority of the target which we agreed upon, we couldn't do it. It's not that India, in most all the countries in the world, unable to achieve that target in time. That's why the global community come up with a post 2020 biodiversity framework, that again having the revised target that will be placed in the oncoming UN Council meeting that is going to happen anytime this year. So that's what building a support also, that Convention on Biodiversity come up with this thing called building a shared future for all life. But India,
Sir, your voice is breaking, I think. So, Dr. Shivkumar, sir, kindly check your internet connectivity.
yeah, power went up. I'm reconnected. Yes. I'm sorry for the interruption. Actually, power went off. That's what I was talking about. Indians are traditionally known to respect the nature. For example, when you look into the different avatar of Lord Krishna, when he started with a Matsya avatar, then later on he took the uh, turtle avatar. Today is the World Turtle Day, actually. And then later on he took the avatar of a lion. That means a fish to turtle to mammoth. This is the evolution. And this evolution was known to ancient people in India. And also there was a message to respect this animal in the name of the God. That's what our ancient philosophy and our Indians are traditionally known to take care of the biodiversity. I'm sorry for that. Some issue. When you talk about this traditional history of Indian conservation, but what happened in the later stage, we forget our own tradition. It's not only happening in India, almost all over the world. That leads to inequality in the human society. And because of the inequality in human society, there are certain people had opportunity to assess the resource which comes from the biodiversity. That leads to some of the people into poverty. So that is the reason that the global community came forward to eradicate the poverty, maintaining the equality among the people, whether it's a gender wise or it's a social wise, and also empower all the communities equally. That is what all about the sustainable development goals, which the entire global community accepted. But if you really want to eradicate the poverty in a human and also provide the equality and empower everybody who are living on the earth, means the core important thing is we should take care of the biodiversity. If you respect the all the life, definitely we can actually try to eradicate the poverty in due course, provided parallelly we work on the maintaining the equality among the community, equality among the genders, and empower them. This is what we need about the sustainable development goal. Especially there are two goals which we talk about today is the life below water, that is the goal number 14 out of 17 goals. And the last three goals are very, very important, because if you take care of the last three, 14, 15, and 16, and 17, in fact, 4 goals, then remaining goals will be taken care automatically. So today I will be talking about life below water and also life on the water. Because life on the water land means that is we are talking about the terrestrial life. Life below water means we are talking about the aquatic life, largely on the marine system and also on the wetland system. This is what two things are talking. But India, the moment if we talk about Indian wildlife, then immediately we come to know about the one of the world largest land animal, that is elephant. We have it in our country. The another elephant species we have it in African continent. So we have about 30,000 elephants in our country. Unfortunately, these animals need a huge territory, whether it's unfortunate or fortunate, but this is their characteristic features, their behavior. So being a bigger animal or need a bigger area to survive, because need a large amount of food and water. And when they need a larger habitat, unfortunately, we couldn't provide such a larger habitat required by these 30,000 elephants. So elephants coming out of from their habitat and getting into the human habitation, so we get into conflict. So many people getting killed by elephant because of this conflict. Similarly, many elephants also getting killed because of our developmental activities, which is happening in their habitat. So this is the one species we know all of us very well. And then when you talk about the Indian wildlife, we can't forget about the one of our charismatic animal, that is tiger. So tiger being a national animal, the government of India, and not only government of India, many of us show a lot of interest on taking care of the species, believing that this species conservation will take care of their habitat and their associated species. So that's what we focus on their conservation, so that we can take care of the entire biodiversity in the habitat of tiger. Whether it is correct or not, we don't know, but it's one thing there, wherever tigers are there, their habitats are taken care, but there are large amount of biodiversity living in India outside tiger habitat also. So how can we focus on that? Because entire country running behind the tiger, forgetting about the considerable and significant number of fauna and flora, the species that occurs outside the tiger N. So we have to think about nothing wrong in focusing on investing on a lot of money on tiger conservation, but we shouldn't undermine the importance of other species of life which is there in our country. Right now, we have about 3,000 tigers in our country, which is the largest tiger population anywhere in the world. So we have to be proud of that, having the largest wild tiger population in our country. And then another interesting animal species which we have it in our country is Asiatic lion. So we have two species of lion in the world. Another one is in African continent again. So this Asiatic lion right now restricted to the smaller forest of the Gir in Gujarat state. So this is the population. We have about 700 individuals right now surviving that area, but the population is increasing thanks to the Department of Gujarat Forest Department. So because of their good effort, the population, the habitats are well protected, population increasing, although here and there we used to get a mortality of lions due to some disease or some other issues. But how long we can hold this lion population in that Gir forest? The bigger questions. So scientists believe that we have to shift some population from the Gir to some other forest area which is similar in nature, so that lion can be safe in that area. In fact, such kind of habitat was already identified in Madhya Pradesh. Due to some political reason, these lion populations, lions are not shifted to Madhya Pradesh, but we had to do something to expand the home range or extend the territory of the lion as well as possible. Otherwise, anything may happen to the population which shouldn't happen. And then we have several interesting species. Although we are very familiar with elephant, tiger, and lion, but there are other animals which are unique to India, which many people don't talk about that. For example, these pictures, what you are seeing, kyang, or this wild ass pop. This wild ass occurs in two regions in our country. If you want to really see this wild ass, we have to visit the Ran of Kutch, that Gujarat. This is a desert region, very hot region. Or if you want to see the wild ass, you can visit Ladakh, which is a cold desert. So that means wild ass occurs in the desert region, one in hot, one in the cold region. Such a wonderful animal, we don't talk much about that. Because of our ignorance, this species also declining at faster rate in our country. Not only the wild ass, there are so many other wildlife we have it in our country. One of the deer species called sambar. This is the most favorite food of the tiger. So this population also seems to be declining in our country due to various reasons, but though it is a very beautiful animal, which is a very important animal for the conservation of larger cats such as tiger and lion. Rhino, of course, many aware of this rhino population. If you really want to see the rhino, you can visit the Kaziranga, where we have the good population of rhino, or Manas. And also we have a few individuals in Dudhwa Tiger Reserve in Uttar Pradesh. So these are the regions where one can see the rhino. Few decades before, the rhino was completely almost in the verge of extinction in India due to poaching because of their horn, because people kill this animal to get the horn, which is having a huge market in international market. So people used to kill it, but somehow, thanks to Assam government, especially the frontline forest force, who actually sacrificed their life to bring back the species, and now we have a fairly good population living in our country. And then leopards everywhere, almost a large part of our India occupied by the leopard. But still, these people don't give much attention to this species. It's another important species. Wherever tigers are not there, so the leopard playing the role of top predator and managing the ecosystem and balancing the equilibrium in the system. But unfortunately, the leopard population also seems to be declining due to illegal trade. We can see that the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau very often seizing the skin of leopard. That means the population is actually declining in a faster rate. And also, this is the animal also getting into human-wildlife conflict. This is another biggest issue we are facing it in wildlife conservation. So the leopard is the one species very often getting into this conflict because leopard loves to live in the human habitation because tigers are very shy. They don't come very closer to human habitation. But leopards are not like that. They are bold animal. And they can come and live in agriculture landscape, especially in sugarcane field. You need a little bit cover so that they can take care of their cubs. So if we provide a cover, whether it's agriculture crops or a wild forest, doesn't matter. They will happily live in that area. Because of that, there is a conflict all over the country. It's not like that we are talking about a bigger animal when we talk about a wildlife conservation in India. We do have certain unique biodiversity. For example, where you are seeing it, that the bird called Nicobar megapode. If you really want to see this species, you have to go to the Nicobar Island to see that. Such a unique bird which lives in Nicobar group of island. Similarly, we have several hundreds of species which are unique to India, which occurs only in India. That is the reason many people from all over the world visit India to watch these birds. We have a lot of endemic. We call them as endemic birds because they are restricted to India. But birds are there everywhere. You can see these birds, whether it's a bulbul or pigeon or myna or a sparrow. You can see this bird in your backyard. As long as you see birds in your area, that means you are living in a better environment. The moment if you miss a birds in your area, that means the area where you are living, it's not conducive for any life. If the birds are not liking that habitat, means because that habitat is not a good for birds. If that means it is also not good for us actually. So these are some of the excellent indicator on the environment where are we living in. But doesn't matter, though we have 1,300 species of birds in our country, we have a rich biodiversity, whether starting from elephant, tiger, or a pigeon, or a house sparrow, or a bulbul, or megapode, whatever. Because of that only, India is one of the 17 biodiversity country, and also having a 4 biodiversity hotspot. And in fact, Western Ghats is the hottest hotspots of the world because we have 8 hottest hotspots. The Western Ghats is one of the hottest hotspots. And moreover, India contributed a lot to the human health in the world. We provided several variety of banana, mangoes, fishes, rice to the world community. In fact, whoever eat a chicken on the earth should be thankful to India because all the poultry chickens, the origin is come from the red jungle fowl that occurs in our northern part of our country. The southern India, we have a grey jungle fowl, but in the northern India, we have a red jungle fowl. Red jungle fowl seems to be the origin of all the poultry in the world. Similarly, those who are eating a paneer must thank to white buffalo from the central India because all the buffalo, domestic buffalo in the world seems to be originated from the Central Indian Asiatic water buffalo. So India contributed a lot. Indian biodiversity contributed a lot to the humankind in the world. What we do? We take care of about 20% of our land mass for the biodiversity. So we have a biogeographic classification because we cannot see all the animals everywhere in India. The biodiversity varies from place to place. The type of biodiversity we see it in Himalaya, that is in a trans-Himalaya, where that environment is a cooler and low rainfall. Most of the time it will be snowfall, but less vegetation, where one can see snow leopard, ibex, feral, wild dogs, such kind of animals one can see it in the cold desert of Indian Himalaya. When you come down from Trans-Himalaya to the main Himalaya, which is a beautiful forest in the down foothills, and goes up to the snow-covered mountain, where we can see musk deer, Kavariman in Tamil people tell. It's a musk deer that the scent, which is Kasturiman, not a Kavariman, Kasturiman. So this is the gland which is there in the musk gland, from where people prepare the world expensive perfumes. For that, these animals were poached in once in a way. Now, again, because of the good protection from the Uttarakhand and some other state in Himalaya, Some populations are left. If you really want to see this animal, you have to go to the Kedarnath Wildlife Sanctuary in Uttarakhand. We have a good population of leopard, yellow-throated marten, red fanta, blue sheep. And then the Himalaya also is known for water. The 50 million Indians are directly or indirectly, not 50 million, 50% of Indians are directly or indirectly depend on water sources from Himalaya, because many rivers originated from India. The largest river of India, Ganges, and then Brahmaputra, Indus. These are the three major rivers originates from Himalaya, which flows through the beautiful streams. You can see these pictures. Either side is such a good forest with a clean water comes from the snow-fed glaciers. And these are the habitat not only for us, actually it is also habitat of several other aquatic animals. You can see the fish, it's called a golden milkshell. Wonderful fish, lives in a bigger river and moves to the Himalayan streams to breed. They migrate about thousands of kilometers every year for my breeding. While going there, this is about the nature. So their breeding means the connectivity between the Himalayan glacier to the sea through the river is very important. That connectivity was largely maintained by aquatic animals such as golden milkshell or some other fish or the other aquatic life. We have it in our country. But unfortunately, what we do, we put a lot of barrier across the river because we need energy. We need, right now, just now, power went off, I lost the connectivity between you and me. So we need electricity. Everybody need electricity. In fact, the demand for electricity increased because everybody having air conditioner, even lower middle class income people also having an air conditioner in their house. Why? Because it's very difficult to live in such a smaller room houses, because the environment is getting hotter and hotter year by year due to the climate change. And because of that, everybody wants a cooler environment inside their house. We need to fix air conditioner. For that, we need again more electric energy. So government in a trouble, they somehow want to fulfill the requirement of the people. So they go for energy. But when you go for such kind of barriers, what's happened? They put a lot of impact on the natural ecosystem. So many problems the dams can create to the aquatic life. And not only that aquatic life, it leads, it's a chain of reaction, it leads ultimately to the human health actually. Our Honorable Prime Minister recently committed to the global community that by 2050, India will change into at least the 50% of the electric energy from the renewable resource. One of the important sector, they looked into the hydro project. But unfortunately, hydro project is not a green project. It kills the river ecosystem. River ecosystems like our veins, circulatory system. They are linking between the landscape and the seascape. There are nutrients goes through the river to the sea. So millions of life in the coastal region depend on these resources from the land. This is a connecting link. Unfortunately, without understanding this, we go for a large number of dams. Nothing wrong in it. I am not against constructing a dam. What we say that think about aquatic life and give some space for go ahead with the dam construction, no issue. But you should decide where should go for dam, where should not go for dam, where should we give the habitat for some of the aquatic life. That's the future of our life. And then we move it down from the cold Himalaya to the hot desert. Many people doesn't know that desert also has a good life. Excellent. If we go to the Rajasthan and the arid region of Rajasthan and Gujarat, one can see the blackbuck, caracal, wild ass, jackal, amazing animals. We have it in the desert region. Most importantly, one of our critically endangered and the largest ground living birds, the great Indian bustard. Such a beautiful bird, indicator of the grasslands of India. Grasslands are one of the very, very important habitat in India, which feeds the millions of billions of cattle in our country. They provide fodder to these cattle. Cattle are part of our life. Without cattle, human Indians cannot survive in the country. And these grasslands are now degrading. It's very clearly indicated from the population size of the Great Indian Bustard. That's why now the people, the government of India, government of various state government, especially Rajasthan, Gujarat, they're trying their level best with the help of Wildlife Institute of India to bring back these species in their grassland. Right now we have about 200 birds, which is really in a critical endangered system. But if you want to see this bird, you had to go to Gujarat and Rajasthan, especially in the semi-arid region. Then moving ahead from the desert to Western Ghats. As I mentioned, one of the hottest biodiversity hotspots of the world, very rich because they receive a lot of rainfall in a year, almost 7 months they get rain. In fact, Western Ghats is unique in nature because Western Ghats is the only mountain range in the world which decide on the monsoon pattern. Amazing character that the tag which the Western Ghats have. It's actually decide on the monsoon pattern of a country, this one mountain. Because of getting a good rainfall, they have a tropical rainforest, which accommodate huge number of wild animals, the largest population of elephant, very good population of giraffe. There are unique animals, we have it in Western Ghats, like lion-tailed macaque, Nilgiri tahr. Also, we have a good population of wild dog, tiger. There are so many. Majority of them, almost 50% of the animals occurs in the Western Ghats, especially in the lower vertebrate like fishes, frogs, and reptiles. They are endemic to Western Ghats. We cannot see them anywhere else in the world. Only in Western Ghats we can see. Western Ghats starts from Kanyakumari, it goes up to Tapti River near the Gujarat. Such a wonderful mountain range we have it. When you move away from Western Ghats to the central India, that is the Deccan Peninsula, which is not like lush green like with Western Ghats, but at the same time, it is not like a dry area like Rajasthan and Gujarat. It is medium. We have mosaic of good forest, good grassland, good wetland. That makes this habitat holding the largest population of tiger, the central Indian landscape. A very good population of gaur, sloth bear, and also some interesting animal. One can see it here, that Barasinga, that is the swamp deer. A good population of leopard, very good population of several deer species we have it in central India. Then moving up again to the Gangetic Plain, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, etc. The most fertile land in the earth, unfortunately, large number of poorest people also living here. That is because inequality in the social system, which we have it in our country, very bad. Though we claim that we are proud Indian, unfortunately, we bring lot of inequality in the human society. And that one can see it in Gangetic Plain. Why people in Gangetic Plains are poor, although that is the most fertile? The reason is inequality that makes certain people hold all the lands and some people doesn't have anything left in that landscape. But nevertheless, apart from political system, but coming to the wildlife, we have wonderful wildlife again, elephant, rhino, swamp deer, the national aquatic animal, Gangetic dolphin. It's endemic to Ganges that occurs in Ganges. Not only that, another interesting endemic animal which occurs only in Ganges, that is Gharial. We have 3 species of crocodile in our country. One in salt water, we can see them in Pitharkanika and Sundarban forest, or you can go to Andaman. You can see saltwater crocodile. You can see another type of crocodile called the mugger or estuarine crocodile. Majority of larger part of India we having a mugger, but Gharial, fish-eating crocodile. You can see the long, smart, beautiful crocodile which feeds only the smaller sized fish. It won't harm the people. But this crocodile now in very vulnerable situation in Ganges. Although thanks to the National Mission on Clean Ganga, hopefully we will bring back good habitat to this Gharial and dolphin in India soon. And then moving from the Ganges to the coastal area, we do have a beautiful coastal habitat and marine habitat. Marine system, ecosystem in India, it is not second to terrestrial system. Both are equally unique. We have huge exclusive economic zone that is about 2.2 million square kilometer. If we are having more than 35 species of marine mammals in our country, dolphin and whales, doggon. We have 5 species of sea turtles out of 7 species of sea turtles which occurs in the world. In fact, there is Oliverity sea turtle. The global population, what we believe that 50% of population is living in Indian water. Such a wonderful marine biodiversity we have it in the country. We have beautiful coral system, seagrass system, mangrove habitat. Amazing. The mangroves are the amount of ecological services which they provide to the humankind is enormous. The mangrove needs to be taken care. Wonderful forest types which occurs in the coastal belt. We have a huge resource in the name of fisheries, the name of hydrocarbon in the Indian Sea. And that's why entire leader, all the leaders in the global system now looking towards the marine system for future livelihood, because we drained our resource from the land. Now entire global community is moving towards the looking forward the marine ecosystem for their future livelihood. Yes, it can support the future livelihood provided we take care of them now. India also not exception to that. India also want to become a leader in blue economic in the region, but they have to be very careful that it should be in a sustainable manner. For example, Happy World Turtle Day. Today is the World Turtle Day. That, as I mentioned earlier, India holds the 50% of the olive ridley turtle. Amazing things happen every year in Odisha coast. Odisha, there are 2 places, Gahirmada and Rushikulia, where lakhs of turtle comes and nest there. That's we call them as Aribada. Wonderful phenomena which happen every year in our country. Lakhs of. This year it was estimated about 11 lakhs turtle nested in that coast. Amazing. When their eggs are in the nest, what's happened? You will see that. When these turtles come to the shore region for breeding before nesting, that is the time we go and do for fishing. Turtles, like a human being, they breathe through lungs. They come to the surface to take environment air. Every time they swim, they dive for 5-6 minutes. They come to the surface to breathe. When you throw the fishing net, unfortunately the turtles get entangled. They cannot come to the surface to breathe. They die. There used to be a story. We used to lose 30 to 40,000 turtles every year. Thanks to the good effort done by the government of Odisha. What they've done is they teamed up Forest Department, Fisheries Department, Marine Police, Coast Guard and Indian Navy. All these 5 departments with the help from the civil society started patrolling and convincing the people don't do fishing in the mating season. That is in the month of November and December, January. It's worked very well. The mortality due to the fisher interface was significantly reduced into the Orissa. In last 15 years or so, not much turtles are died. Although there are few turtles died, it is acceptable. When 11 lakh turtles plus some another 3-4 lakhs of male, which never come to the surface, that is about 15 lakhs turtle in the sea, there are few turtles will die. There are many reasons may be given to that. That's not okay. But not like a 30-40,000 turtle which used to die. But that was stopped now. When we are addressing one problem, there are another problem, including this year. When after turtles are nested, the time of hatchling, the hatchling is supposed to emerge. We got a cyclone a couple of weeks before. That cyclone triggered and damaged. Lot of eggs, lot of hatchlings are damaged. This is a natural disaster we face in the things. Why I'm telling this? Naturally, our biodiversity having a lot of problem. As a human being, we shouldn't put further problem. That's what I'm trying to convey here. Not only that, development. Now, India looking for hydrocarbon. You know, few weeks before, oil prices, petrol prices gone, shot up like anything. Lot of politics played over that price rise. Everybody upset with the increasing price. We too have hydrocarbon in our Indian Sea. We want to export. That's what government of India want to do. When government of India, when going for exploring oils in Indian Sea, which is also habitat of the sea turtle. How can we balance this development with the conservation? So yes, there are opportunity. We can do that. How can we do that? When the hydrocarbons proposal was submitted to, we objected. The people who are concerned about sea turtles say, no, we shouldn't go ahead because turtles will die. Then there was a study constituted to understand the spatial requirement or habitat requirement of the sea turtle. And myself involved in this program, we actually started studying the sea turtles movement and their use in Bay of Bengal. Our turtles are moving everywhere. You can see it on the track. But when you analyze the data, we come to know that there can some kind of a spatial and temporal distribution pattern in sea turtles in Bay of Bengal. After understanding this pattern, we recommended government, yes, you can do certain oil exploration in this area during this particular part of the year, because that time the turtles are not using that area. Amazing. Science can help us to mainstream the development as well as turtle conservation. This is what I am telling now. We can balance both, but majority of the time people don't want to balance first. Everybody run behind the money. There is a news today saying that the COVID-19 made billionaires. Every 30 hours, 1 billionaire was created. That means more corruption. People, even during the disaster time, try to make money out of that. Such kind of people living on this earth. How can we bring the equality in the human society when we have such kind of the system? Highly corrupt people, they want to earn money on the life of others. They will be very happy that people die because they can get more money. This is what happened. That is what Oxfam report today released, mentioning that every 30 hours, 1 billionaire was created on the earth, whereas majority of the people gone without food on the night. This happened. But only thing is we need a willingness. There is a possibility we can sustain it. There are another interesting things about another species. We have it in our country. Whale sharks. The largest fish. It is not a mammal. It's a fish. It won't kill. It won't attack person. In fact, it feeds on microplankton, smaller fishes. This animal visit India to breed, especially in the coastal area of Gujarat. When they used to come to the Gujarat, what's happened? These animals are lifted, caught, and they were killed for fins and lungs, livers. From the liver, oils are extracted to paint the boat. This was the story in Gujarat for a longer period. But there was amazing message communicated to the fishermen to stop this illegal activity. What they said? They equated the whale shark into the daughters. When we get married, the daughters, when daughters gets the first pregnancy, she returns back to the parents' house. When she comes back to the parents' house, it's a responsibility of the parents to take care of their daughter and also their baby, and then send both daughter and her baby safely to the in-laws' house. This is the tradition we follow. This is what communicated to the fishermen of Gujarat, that the whale sharks are our daughter. They're coming here to give a birth. You want to kill your daughter. Amazing. This is the message gone into the mind of the fishermen. They stopped killing this whale shark. Last 10 years, not even a single whale shark was killed in Gujarat coast. Thanks to these people behind, especially Wildlife Trust of India. That's the civil society joined with one corporate, but it was led by the Gujarat Forest Department. Amazing work done by the Gujarat Forest Department to save successfully this whale shark. The similar message was passed on Gujarat coastal area of Andhra Pradesh. Somehow it is not working in Andhra Pradesh. We don't know the reason. Probably the social system in Andhra Pradesh differ from the social system in Gujarat. So what it says, even in conservation methods should be unique to place. One method adopted or successful in one region of the India may not have applicable or may not work in other parts of the India. That's what we learn from the West Shore. When we move from marine system to northeast, beautiful, another habitat. Similar to Western Ghats, because northeast also receives a good rainfall. We have a good population of buffalo, excellent population of chimpan. We have a population of rhino, pygmy hawk, civet, clouded leopard, loris, and such a wonderful wildlife one can see it in the northeast part of our country. Then moving to islands, we shouldn't forget, though they are in distance, but we shouldn't forget the islands of our country. They are also amazing wealth of India. Beautiful beaches we have it in our country. Can be an excellent revenue resource, provided we take care of the coastal region. Very few coastal beaches are neat and clean in our country. Majority of the beaches are dirty because we don't respect. We pollute them. If we really keep our coastal area all over the India, all along the Indian coast, we can earn billions of dollars in name of tourism. People will come. But what's happening? Only in few places in India the beaches are looking good, not in many places. Then Nicobars, another paradise, super place. If you want to see the largest sea turtles of the world, that is called a leatherback. Say that each and every nook and corner of India has its own uniqueness. It's not like people. People are so unique, you know. We speak different language. We eat different foods. We wear different kind of cloth. Our traditions are different. Highly diverse people. Still, we live like an Indian. That is a uniqueness of India. Similarly, Indian biodiversity also like that. A lot of diversity. Unfortunately, these biodiversities are not doing well. We are greedy. We kill them. There are problems like invasive species, which introduced in our country, eating our wildlife. Pollution, all of you are aware of that. Air pollution, again, big problem for our country. Climate change, threatening everywhere. And not only that, people, population keep on increasing. It is not that population are increasing. In fact, everybody want to live in a luxurious life. The GDP also increasing. Clearly indicates population. And same time, everybody want to live in very luxurious life. But resources are limited. What we are trying to do is, we are trying to degrade all the biodiversity in our country, the world. Majority of the ecosystems are hauled, damaged and degraded because we want to live in a very luxurious life. That is the problem. And this is the some of the maps we done it. So what's happening there? That wildlife are declining, habitats are degraded, but government again and again come up with some kind of idea. And recently in 2016, I'm talking about the latest, government picked up 4 species to recover them as well as their habitat. As I mentioned, the great Indian bustard, Gangetic dolphin, Manipur deer, and the 4th one marine animal, the sea cow, God's own cow. We believe that the sea cows, the dugong, some people in Gujarat believe that these dugongs are Lord Krishna's own cow. When his kingdom was drowned, the Lord Krishna gave a power to his cow to convert it into become a sea cow because he doesn't want to die. It means his cows doesn't want to his cow die. So he given a power. That's why his cows became a sea cow. So we claim that this is Krishna's own cow. Unfortunately, the land of sea cow, because India used to have 5 species of dugong in the ancient India, the highest diversity of sea cows anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, this is the country killed them. Now we have less than 250 individuals. So the government of India took an initiative to recover the species. because one sea cow can contribute about 2 crore rupees every year to the human being in the name of fisheries. So we to protect. So a lot of innovative models were used. The Dugong Scholarship was initiated to support the school-going children of the fishermen who live in the Dugong habitat. This program helped the support of the school children. Through the children, we approached the parents and stopped the killing of poaching of the dugong in our country. It has a two outcomes. Not only that we could save dugongs from poaching, and also we could help these children to complete their education in the school. It's an amazing program that got huge support from the people who are living in the dugong habitat. The poacher once used to kill this dugong, converted into saviors of the species. But still, we are a big population country. Not only that, our cattle is also very high. Cattle, you know, they are responsible for degrading the forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, or any natural ecosystem. So huge population with a huge cattle, it's always challenge. That is why Government of India come up with the National Biodiversity Action Plan. And this action plan has its own target, how to conserve our biodiversity in the country. Not only that, there is another important document, it's called the India's National Wildlife Action Plan. Once in 15 years, the Government of India prepared this action plan. Right now, there is a third National Wildlife Action Plan. Fortunately, I became the member of the committee who prepared this action plan. Come up with 102 actions with the 249 projects to safeguard our Indian biodiversity. But the ultimate objective is we have to integrate this wildlife conservation into sustainable development goals of the global community. So it ultimately insists the spatial planning and reiterating the importance of giving a space for wildlife sector in the spatial planning, which is normally prepared for development program. And then government again and again come up with a new program. In 2020, thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister, who come up with the Project Dolphin. The Project Dolphin, initially it was for Gangetic dolphin. Later on it was agreed that it should be given attention to marine dolphin. This is the program looking for about 35 species of marine mammals under the umbrella of Project Dolphin. The Dolphin Project identify all the problems for marine mammal. That means it's like a tiger in the land. So when you take care of the marine mammal, it ultimately takes care of the entire marine ecosystem. So that the livelihood of the people will be safeguarded, especially the people who are living in the coastal area, most importantly the fishermen community. That was the hidden agenda of this Project Dolphin, to enhance and improve the livelihood of the fishermen community in the country. And moreover, and also go for developing a blue economic in the country, strengthening the blue economy. So one of the priority activities is to safeguard certain space. Right now, India are not taking care of the marine ecosystem properly. We are very poor. Less than 0.2% of the marine ecosystem is protected by India. But it is not good. If this situation is continued, that's it. We lose everything. When the entire global community moving towards the marine ecosystem, then India will cry, sit and cry, because if we don't take care of the marine ecosystem now, then future Indian generation will suffer like anything. So this is the right time for us to protect certain portion of the Indian marine environment so that the future generation will get benefited. Protected area is one of the important conservation tools we follow. So we protect about 5% of Indian land mass in the protected area, and we manage them very well. And not only that, the Government of India also come up with the 22 species to take care of the various important habitats in the country. It's going on. And then some reports say that forest cover is increasing. It's a good news. Whether these forest covers are really good green or red green, there are some red green also there. one has to see that what kind of forest we are having it. Having a good forest is important. Although forest cover is increasing in our country, India comes with ecological sensitive areas, want to manage it. And then the key biodiversity areas. There are various key biodiversity areas in the country identified by the various agencies. And these key biodiversity areas, please come on. So various key biodiversity areas identified, for example, Ramsar site, elephant corridor, important bird area. So CBD may recognize this as other effective area conservation measures. And these effective area based conservation measures are a key biodiversity area. We have a many, but having this area, what we have to do is, we should not only identify this area and declare this area by using certain political policies, but this should be applied while planning for development. For example, we have a decision supporting system. Somebody coming up with a proposal to develop an industry, when we have to really look into this importance of that area with respect to OECM, that means key biodiversity area. If that is a key biodiversity area, we shouldn't allow any kind of development. We can develop, we can build a factory, industry in other habitat which is not critical for biodiversity. But many industrialists in India want to establish their industry in forested habitat because the government lands are cheaper and they will get a good water. That is another problem. Many companies in the world establish industry in India because in India we freely allow the companies to use the groundwater. We don't charge them. But this is the right time for us to charge for groundwater. Heavily we have to charge it. Otherwise we lose groundwater. We lose a lot of biodiversity. So these are some of the things we have to apply in the system. I have few more slides to complete. Right now, if you want to continue in the status quo, because everybody talks about sustainable development. If you look at the policy framework of many agencies, it's all greenery, but we don't implement anything in a way. Right now, we have less forest, less wildlife. We have a degraded wetlands in our country, more pollution. What's happening? It is actually going to the unhealthy generations. You can see right now, I come back from Dehradun to Pondicherry after spending almost 27 years out of Pondicherry. I couldn't recognize many places in Pondicherry where I born and brought up here. We completely changed the landscape of Puducherry. We may claim it is a good development, but I can say this is a nonsense development. Sorry to use such kind of hard words. Having a big building is not called a development. What's happening in our country? If you visit any majority of the cities, you can see the number of junk food restaurants are increasing. Equal number of medical store one can sit on the same road. Large number of hospitals. There used to be only 2 hospitals in Puducherry. Now we have several hospitals in Puducherry. The number of medical stores is matching with any other shops in the state. It's happening in all the main cities in the country. But we claim that this is a development. Making people sick and then treating people's luxury, that is called development. We don't want such kind of things. If we continue like that, what will happen? We'll get a unhealthy new generation. They are good for nothing. And suddenly there will be a huge collapse in the human society. How long we will survive? Thousands of years before, the poet Thiruvalluvar wrote is saying that all lives are equal while born. They provided a huge ecosystem to us to enjoy the life. Are we going to live the same life to the another generation which is going to come in 1,000 years later? No. The way we destroy our ecosystem, we will not leave even this earth for next 2-3 generations. Very sad. If really want, yes, still we are not late. we can do. We need a good forest. Good forest means the forest with a highly diverse wild forest ecosystem we need. We don't want a planted forest. We need very good forest. Try to freeze the forest system which we have it in our country. That forest should have a rich wildlife. That is the indicator of good forest. We need a better wetland. Puducherry, what's happened? We encroached majority of the wetland, degraded our wetland ecosystem. Wetlands are future of the Puducherry. Today, if we lose the wetlands, tomorrow we don't get anything. I never imagined that one day in Puducherry we will buy water for drinking. But now, almost every household is buying water. And future, what will happen? There won't be even water for new purchase. If we don't take care of the wetlands, we have it in our Puducherry. It is applicable to all the cities, all the urban landscape in the country. First of all, we should completely protect all the wetlands, whatever we have it, and then try to recover and restore these wetlands. That itself is the biggest contribution for sustainable development goal. The future generation will get benefited. And then we don't need more pollution. We need a less pollution. That all of you are aware of that. Empowerment. People should not be given a free. We should empower the people to buy what they want it. Equality, which is lacking in our country. Only rich people enjoy everything. That should not be the case. Everybody should be treated equally. Women should be respected. Needs to be respected. And most importantly, there should not be corruption. We have to eradicate corruption. The government always come up with a new plan to eradicate corruption. Unfortunately, corruption is not gone. It in fact increasing. So because corruption is one of the biggest issue, threat to the biodiversity conservation. We have to remove this corruption. Spatial planning. We must consider biodiversity is one of the important sector. When you are planning for a different developmental sectors, when you are planning, any planning process, we should give some space for biodiversity and their habitat. Green technology. We should promote, strengthen our income, livelihood comes from agriculture. These are very important things. We don't need more income from the digitized or technology mechanized field. We need it. But food is very important. That's what very important. We can survive without a computer, without car, without motorcycle, without big building, without big road. But we can't survive without food and water. This is a very basic, essential thing. So we have to improve on our green technology, especially to strengthen the agriculture product. Because people again started cheating in the name of organic farming. Same food, they say that it's organic food. Another big business, fooling people and cheating the people. This is what we have to do it when you really want to go for a sustainable development. Now recently, the CBD, the World Heritage Organization, come up that biodiversity conservation is the base or root for all our health. But health means what they're mentioning. It's a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. Health means that's what. Good food, good water, good shade, good clean, mental peace. One has to get it. That will come only from biodiversity, nothing else. Having a crores of worth of car doesn't bring you a healthy life. But we need an excellent environment where you can breathe the good air, you will get a good water, and you can sleep well. This is what the biodiversity can contribute us. One has to really understand. So I conclude now like saying that we should accept that biodiversity conservation is one of the important development sector. It is a development sector. Biodiversity conservation is not the anti-development. Majority of the policymakers and bureaucrats believe that biodiversity conservation is wastage of money. Even you can see that how much money allotted to Ministry of Environment, which is the important agency to take care of the biodiversity. Because if I always believe that the biodiversity conservation is wastage of money, unfortunately not understanding that today we are living because of this biodiversity. No one realized that. How long we will educate the people? So biodiversity conservation, I'm telling you, sector that will benefit current generation as well as the future generation. But current ongoing development sector, big road, big train, big flight, big plan, whatever we create, all will benefit only this present generation or maybe next to 2 generations. Afterwards, what will happen to the people in the country? All will die. Again, there are so many corona will come if we don't take care of the biodiversity. Therefore, I request that we should invest the lot of money in the biodiversity conservation so that the future generation will get benefited. So that's what I want to share, that biodiversity conservation is not the anti-developmental program. It is the developmental program. One should realize that. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, sir. Next, we will move on to the discussion session. Dear participants, if any doubt, kindly share your question in chat box. Sir, I think no doubt from the audience side. We will move on.
Okay. Because this is a popular talk, so I don't think so.
Everything is clear, I think so, sir.
Hello,
Yes.
Professor Parthasarathi, Pondicherry University.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. So it is a wide coverage covering various biomes across various species groups, and I'm sure that this will give the audience and others at various levels and sections in the society a great idea, and to what extent their responsibilities have been impressively put upon for the purpose of biodiversity conservation on this important occasion. Very good effort, wide coverage. I enjoyed listening to the lecture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks.
Any doubt from the audience side? Thank you, sir. On behalf of Puducherry NBIS Hub, I would like to thank the NBIS Secretariat, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India for financially supporting NBIS scheme. It's my privilege to thank Madam Smita R. IAS, Chairperson cum Member Secretary, PPCC, for supporting and motivating NBIS team to organize these types of awareness programs. At the outset, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our today expert, Dr. K. Shivakumar sir, Professor, Department of Ecology and Environmental Science, School of Life Sciences, Pondicherry University, who spared time from his busy schedule for gracing this occasion. And also, I am happy to share this. Sir has already worked in one of the NBIS center at the Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, and Sir is having a huge attachment with NBIS family And also we thank you, sir, and we are expecting your continuous relationship with our NVIS scheme. And also I want to thank P. Vipin Babu, scientist, PPCC, and NVIS coordinator of Puducherry NVIS Hub for his enthusiastic support and guidance to the NVIS team. And also I would like to thank SciComm officials, Blue Flag Beach Management Committee members for coordinating with the NVIS team for conducting these programs. Finally, I would like to thank officials of this department, Puducherry NVIS team, and also the participants from various backgrounds for their unflinching support and coordinating with this program for conducting in a successful manner. With these warm words and kind message, we move on to the end session of this today's webinar. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.